Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Renowned Explorers. Now there's a little bit of business to take care of right away here, just sort of rip the band-aid off. This is going to be the last game of Renowned Explorers for the immediate future. I love the game, but I really have played a huge amount of it, and there's stuff coming up. We're going to need space in the schedule. Let me tell you something. Recording 4 videos for every day. Every day of the week has gotten a little burning me out. So we're going to make this the last one for a while. I really want to thank everybody for the incredibly positive reception that the series has gotten. Especially this series is a little bit embarrassing for me because of the voice acting and it's a very silly sort of thing that I'm doing here. And I really appreciate how cool you guys have been about it, like relentlessly positive. The community for this game is fantastic, and frankly, my community is fantastic. You guys are great, and I really appreciate everything you do. So, this is the last one for a while. Let's make it a good one. We're taking Hojo Fumiaki out because he's the last of the new characters, whose Captain Perk we have not worked with yet. That Captain Perk is Sensei. He trains all of the crew in Jujutsu. I think people usually say Jujitsu, right? But that might not be the right pronunciation. That might be just sort of a westernization corruption thing. Anyway, everybody gets a free rank of Quick Thinker. This particular Quick Thinker perk doesn't come from anywhere else in the game as far as I'm aware, so it won't overlap with any event that's trying to give us a perk or anything. Hojo himself starts as a level 3 Quick Thinker then, because of that. So that interacts with the second part of this, which is that you get an encounter token whenever a level 3 Quick Thinker succeeds on the adventure wheel. Now, if we wanted to take maximal advantage of this, probably what we would do is go to the Celtic Code, take the Celtic Horned Helmet as our, from the boss fight, right? Get the payout of encounter tokens increased, and then build stuff up from there. But we've done runs that are very similar to that earlier in this series, a couple of them. And so I really don't want to focus on that. I feel like it's going to be a little repetitive. What I do want to focus on instead is trying to maximize Hojo's crew story, raising the bar, which gives us an extra big token whenever we find a treasure. It says here depending on its treasure category. Basically that just means depending on the resource that matches closest with the place where you got the treasure. I experimented with a little bit. I took the crew to Transylvania, and all of the Transylvania treasures gave us an extra secret token. So that's the kind of thing they're talking about. What else? Our starting perk sets are Quick Thinker and Athlete. Victor is a Tactician and Diplomat. And Yvonne is a Beguiler and Rogue. So the secondary challenge here, Rogue team. We have a natural rogue, but we have a natural rogue that doesn't start with any ranks of rogue, so we probably are not going to beat Rivaloo to rank to the first threshold on this one. It's okay. We'll figure it out. And Status Collector. We should be pretty good at Status Collector. We have the bonus payout from Secrets, Campfire Story. We have bonus campaign tokens when spending Insight with Victor. We have bonus campaign tokens from completing Beguiler spins. We can do Status Collector. I think this crew should be pretty good at it. In addition, this crew should be pretty well suited for the Anagogic Archipelago, which is something that I'm very interested in going back to, because we really haven't seen that much of that. Okay, let's get going. I feel like I'm forgetting something. There was something else I was going to talk about. I don't remember what it is. But we're like 4 minutes into the video, and we haven't played any video game yet, so... we pulled the Saxon Kings, which is the gold-focused starting expedition. You know, for maximum, like I said, for maximum effect, we probably would have wanted to select Celtic Code. But there is a joy in just kind of playing the game and taking it as it comes. Roll the dice and try to figure it out from there. So the rain is becoming unbearable, and the crew is looking for shelter. After searching for a while, a cave is found. The crew lays down their backpacks and makes a fire to dry their clothes for warmth. Once the fire is blazing, the cave appears to be larger than it appeared in the dark. As you explore the cave, you notice lots of Saxon war equipment, including some skeletons, probably of wounded soldiers that died in the caves. Since we have a Tactician in the crew, you can normally get 3 tokens out of this. With the Tactician, you get 4. It's not a big difference, but... Alright, while collecting some of the equipment, you notice some tactical plans written on the cave walls. Studying this will give you tactical defensive insight. Who will study these plans? Ah, that's a bummer. This gives a perk that we already had. So if your first expedition free perk event would give you a perk that you already have, you instead just get a bunch of free tokens. I don't love that, but I do think that taking 10 collect tokens right now is probably better than giving somebody else a redundant perk that we're not actually going to get a lot of value out of. Who will study these plans? No one. Learning isn't interesting. Yeah, Victor tells the other to search for more weapons. Don't worry, I know all about this tactical stuff. Okay, so we find some more equipment. I mean, that's not a terrible start. Alright, let's hit this encounter so that we can double back and grab the 3 supplies that are at this node without wasting any. A group of sheep is fighting to eat from a slightly greener patch of grass. Alright, we approach the patch of grass, but the sheep see us as competition. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't get to the size that Hojo is only by eating grass. I said that and I immediately thought, you know what, cows are like fairly big, aren't they? Listen, I want you to know that it made a lot of sense in my head when I was starting to say it. That's really the only defense I can offer. Alright, so Mindbender, deal 35 speech damage. That's, we might not be able to do that. So we should be a pretty good speech crew. We're good at friendly and aggressive, particularly friendly, I think. Oh, I'm not as close to the sheep as I thought I was. Now, we have used Hojo before, so we probably, people have a pretty good idea of what he does. He tells sheep that he loves them, and also cleaning. And the sheep are always very impressed when somebody loves cleaning, because sheep are much like me, and they don't care for cleaning themselves. You demonstrate to them a love of cleaning, they're like, wow, you are something else, buddy. You are real weird. Obviously, I'd like the porcelain from the finish encounters aggressive thing, especially given that it looks like we're not going to be able to figure out a way to get Mindbender going. But I want the 3 study tokens more. Yeah, we can accumulate a little bit of a porcelain debt and still come out ahead. I think we've shown that on a couple of occasions. Also, it's not actually impossible that we just managed to still pull this off. You successfully calmed down the sheep and can finally take a look at the grass. After careful examination and some tests, it seems the grass contains special nutrients that attract sheep. You take some with you for scientific value. Okay, good enough for me. That doesn't sound all that likely, but I will accept it. Alright, so we found some supplies. As usual, we're going to kind of blow through this first expedition pretty quickly. While scouting the area, a rugged-looking man comes running up to you. He wants to join our entourage. That's fantastic. He's a merchant, which isn't the best thing in the universe for us, because I'd really like a follower that increases our status, but we'll figure it out. We will figure out a way to prosper here. Okay, so this is a little bit of a bummer. Wow, this is already 9 encounter tokens. This is going to be fantastic by the end of the game. I really hope that we get to play this. But we're not going to be able to keep it right now because I really want to try to draw Hojo's crew story as quickly as possible. That said, I think it's okay to play Secret Report right now. Just get this down. Yvonne seems to be wasting the deems you to be wasting the potential of a good secret. An inquisitive analysis of the connections uncovered by a secret might yield a better outcome. From now on, the crew will speculate on secrets at night, creating new conspiracy theories. Victor is a little nervous that the crew might find out about his little secret. Well, that's curious. That's a curious thing to have said. So we're not going to hold any of these. I don't think Yvonne's crew story is particularly interesting. Plus, we're down for hiring journalists. And like I said, I want to play this, but we really got to go through as many cards as we can, as quickly as we can, to get to Hojo's story. It would be a real mummer if we didn't manage to draw it next expedition either. Totally could happen, though. Alright, 2 people are having a heated discussion as you walk by. One of them yells at you, "Hey you! Yes, you! We need your opinion on something. We're discussing what the best way is to solve problems. I'm convinced that using speech will solve any problem you encounter, but this guy here thinks using physical attacks is the only way to go." Yeah, so you know how this works. We're going to get a temporary buff. Let's buff up somebody's speech. And ordinarily I would say let's give it to the lowest person, but maybe we want to give it to one of the highest people here so that we can attempt to hit challenges. So why don't we try giving it to... I guess it doesn't even really matter who. Let's give it to Yvonne, because her moves are all 2 spaces. She has good range. Alright, now I'd like to hit this treasure when we're level 2. So as to have the best chance of passing whatever its attendant role is. But it looks like there's not going to be a real easy way of doing that. Along the path you are taking stands a shrine. On a placard on the shrine is written, "Write on this shrine your name and it will give you knowledge and fame." Yeah, sure. You write your names and see a vision that reveals the history of this area. After the intense vision, you take a long look at the other names written on the shrine. Your names are forever noted among other famous explorers who passed by. That's cool. Unfortunately, that is actually not going to get us Collector of Campaign. We are doing a terrible job on these challenges so far. So the question is, do we want to hit this now, or do we want to like wrap all the way around here and be sure that we will be level 2 by the time we come back? I think we're going to take that second option. What a strange noise! Music is coming from a meadow, but there's no one in sight. Yeah, we've seen this event before, and recently too. Am I being silly? I mean, the benefit of taking the treasure now is probably pretty low. Yeah, let's come back when we're level 2. I don't know what the check that we're going to have to make there is. It's entirely possible that we would be able to pass it right now, but I don't see any reason to push it. Okay, so Pain Absorber, receive 8 or less attack from 8 or less damage from a single ability. These guys have 18 damage. We do have access to a Terrify. Hojo's got 21 armor. Actually, hold on. So it would be best if we could have it be Victor who gets hit. Hojo can move to here and terrify this guy. I don't want to start the fight aggressive. Bloody hell, Hojo. Because if we were aggressive, the Terrify might have done enough damage to just bring him down entirely. Well, now how do I want to do this? Because I kind of want to... We definitely need to make sure we finish aggressive. But I also kind of want to be careful. Well, this is fine. If we bottleneck this area with Hojo and Victor, and then place Yvonne over here, we will guarantee that there's no way anybody can be hit 3 times during the enemy turn. And that should be enough to ensure that we don't lose any resolve, because these first expedition enemies certainly do not hit very hard. Unfortunately, they are going to hit too hard for us to get Pain Absorber, probably. Or they're not going to hit at all. That could happen. That's certainly an option. Yeah, so how do I want to do this? Like I said, if I end up aggressive, or if I end up devious... No, if I end up aggressive, we'll do bonus damage with devious attacks, and Hojo's Terrify will probably be lethal. But it doesn't have any range. Huh. I guess the answer is screw it. Like, we're not going to be able to get the combat challenge. Oh well. Well, actually, it might not finish him off. No, okay. So with him terrified, he's down to only 14 attack power. And if he hits Victor, we might be able to take 8 or less damage. It's a lot of porcelain to give up. That's a 2-point challenge. So it would be a real bummer if we didn't get it. Oh, he's attacking the wrong person. He did 9. Oh, man. That's a heartbreaker. Well... I mean, if he attacks Victor, he will do less than... Okay, now you're just being a jerk. I'm actually just going to end my turn over and over again. And, how much grit does Victor have? Victor has 2 grit. He has a 2% chance of dodging. Alright. Hojo's not actually in any danger. Just so we're all clear. Because we can do this. We can buff Hojo's health back up. I really, really, really want this dude to actually deal damage to Victor once, just to see if 9. Damn. You know what? We're gonna try one more time. Let's have him hit Victor again. Nope. Okay, he's gonna vary up from 9. 9 was the bottom of the range, it looks like. Alright, fair enough. Nobody can say I didn't try. Yeah. We're gonna come out of this 10 porcelain behind. That's fine. We have seen from the past that we can definitely recover from a situation like that. So, a single point of athlete might be a good idea. Athlete's a pretty useful one. I think I'm going to take a single point of athlete over getting to Quick Thinker 4 right away. Am I going to do the same thing with... I think I'm going to do the same thing with everybody. I think I'm going to broaden our rolling abilities a little bit. Okay, so we've picked up a pretty good set of tools here. 2 thieves are running from an angry mob. Since you're blocking the path, one of the thieves asks, "Please, traveler, we have no time for you right now. If you let us through, we'll give you some compensation." Obviously, I'm not... First of all, I don't particularly like to be talked to that way. We have no time for you. You don't know me. Maybe I was going to offer to help. But secondly, obviously, we need the XP. So these guys, 15 or less attack damage. You know, from the when you get the much easier challenge, the result is only a single porcelain. So 15 should be pretty easy. We're going to do the same thing we did last time. Try to terrify one of them. We'll just tell him about skulls. He's going to be like, "Sorry, there's what inside my head?" It is a heck of a realization, I'll give him that. These guys are tough enough that maybe it behooves us to gang up a little bit on this dude. Just to make sure that we can easily bring him down next turn. And at the very least, we're going to be able to complete Mr. Aggressive here. Ah, man, wow, he's really good at dodging for someone who only has 2% dodge. Okay, that was easy enough. So we don't really want to do anything aside from just finish punching guys, right? Victor does have an Enrage. It's not guaranteed to hit, but we'll throw it out there. Because it would be nice if we could get this guy's armor down. You smell like the stinkiest of cheeses. Which is such a distracting accusation that it is afterward trivial to knock him unconscious by hitting him with a broom. I don't know if you've ever been hit by a broom, but it doesn't seem like it would knock you out all that easily. Alright, well, we're going to come out of here with actually a pretty good spread of tokens, it looks like. Also, as always, kind of a bad number of hunger penalties, but we'll deal. An excavation tent is standing on a rock formation. You decide to take a look. As soon as you open the tent, a girl with a lab coat and glasses screams in terror and trembles in fear. "Ah! Who are you? What are you doing here? You're here to steal my secret, aren't you?" "Yes, you are. Please, just take some money and leave." Well, I mean, obviously. The researcher calms down and is convinced that you're here to help. She tells you about how a mining company hired her to find the right spots to dig. She even shares some information with you, which was probably classified. And then we start taking the penalties. Hojo loses grit. Okay. Oh, Apparently I clicked with such force that I clicked through the dialogue option and onto the node below it. That's a heck of a thing to have happened. Whatever, man. We'll just eat 100 hunger penalties. I'm not afraid. We are starting to lose an awful lot of offensive stats, though, which are the important ones. Next to a mountain, you see what appears to be a Saxon castle. It looks quite old, but frankly untouched, which may be due to its remote location. As we approach, we are certain that it is abandoned. The gates are ajar, and after crossing a small courtyard, we reach yet another smaller gate. Okay, I did a little bit of research before this, just trying to figure out what the best options to take on this first island would be, and I know that we want to search for the catacombs here. I think we want to search for the catacombs here, I believe. Alright, so we grab a desk, it stands on a hallway. Yeah, we're going to make this roll. We are not very good at this roll. This is an archaeologist-focused roll, but we managed to pull it off. Ooh, hey look, I think we found one of the special treasures. With expert knowledge, you decide which door to take, and you find a torture room? This place is very creepy. One frightful treasure draws all attention. Indeed, we found the executioner's axe. I'm pretty happy with that. So, obviously, we could take some free tokens, but this seems like an okay way to go. Gain an extra encounter token if you resolve aggressive. We can do a lot of resolving aggressive. I mean, we're pretty good at friendly. Yeah, we won't do this, though. The blood is still dripping from the axe, but no one is there. Must have been a rat that hurt himself. The executioner's axe is still an important piece. With that amazing find, the crew is happy to leave this mysterious castle. Another treasure found for the world to see. And then, yeah, we lose all of our stats. We are definitely taking Discovery Token. Really, really like that early game science. We are going to hit all the nodes. You know, I don't know how many hunger penalties it would take for you to be completely unable to defeat the first area boss, but I think we're going to find out. Victor loses attack power. Sure, so we don't have any offensive stats left. Alright, let's do it. You know how it goes. We find a treasure, Rivalu's like, oh, this is my treasure, and he's, like, technically right, because he was here a couple seconds before I was. But also, I don't like him, so I don't care. Alright, we have to face Tommy Gunn, the aggressive fighter of Rivalu's crew. He has an AoE damage strike. I'm not concerned. So I think we will open up with... Yeah, I guess we just open up by matching his aggressive attitude. I think, given that our stats are a little bit screwed up, we probably want to fall back and try to take these guys in waves. So we can wipe out the first group pretty easily. They are weak against sadness, which fortunately Yvonne wields pretty effectively. And let me take down this guy as well. This way, I don't think we should get hit too many times. In fact, it looks like just once on this next turn. Assuming Tommy can't actually reach us, yeah. Now, unfortunately, we don't have access to great area of effect attacks yet. We did pick up this Peace Treaty ability for Victor, which adds 3 friendly to the mood, and also gives minus 20% attack to everything it hits. It's a fine ability. It will be a lot more useful at other points in the future when he doesn't have a massive speech debuff. But it is it's great to have abilities that help you easily get from aggressive to friendly if you're going to try to run an aggressive and friendly crew. Obviously, because of the fact that it's relatively quite difficult to transition from aggressive to friendly. Alright, let's just wrap up all these dudes. We'll get it so it's just us and Tommy. And I think there really is no risk at this point. It would be very difficult for him to bring us down before we bring him down. So Yvonne's going to give him the Saturn. He is like a stupid dog. His face is like a stupid dog's face? I don't know. I have no idea what that is supposed to be. Alright. Victor misses the Enrage, unfortunately. Do I want to just heal Victor? Nah, we'll be fine. The problem is, Hojo's attack is all screwed up. Well, we gotta work him over. It's just gonna take a little while, because we're all pretty debuffed. Hopefully this is a good example, though, of the fact that it is really, really easy to defeat the final boss of the first island, even if you make some phenomenally bad decisions or mistakes, as we did here. And I know we're not picking up any progress toward Mr. Friendly. Don't worry, we'll get there. Or maybe we won't. I don't know. Maybe I'll just be aggressive forever. Alright, Tommy's impressed by our skill, which I'm sure is going to yield like a single point of attack for everybody. Wow, you're pretty strong. Few can take on the mighty Tommy Gunn. Take some gold in this checklist. It describes treasures we want to find here. I guess if you beat us to it, you deserve one as well. I was kind of going for a grimace thing there, but I don't know what it turned into. And he leaves to follow Rivalu, who has already plundered King Egbert's tomb and left, because you know how he do. Well, I'll take a point of attack, I guess. Now, this might have been a really good time to figure out what I was going to do here. Let's, I think the treasure near the dangerous cliffs is the right play. I do not remember what the options are from all these. Oh yeah, that's right, we do get to look. So I think of these, the Sword of Justice is, I think, a treasure that can give you bonus encounter tokens from finishing aggressive. So that might be a good way to go. The Heliodor, you know what, I don't normally do this. You guys won't be able to see me doing it. But I'm going to look something up real quick. Because I think I remember that the Heliodor might be awesome. So what I'm doing right now, again, you guys can't see it because of the way I have this configured, but I'm looking at the very excellent, yeah, the Heliodor might actually be really good for our goal because it has there's a version of its bonus that gives a big bonus payout to secret tokens. So I was just checking out Liort's treasure guide on the Steam guides for this game. If you're trying to plan a run or you just want to see what some things you might have been missing are, it really is a fantastic resource. That dude has put a lot of work into that and also a lot of other things for the community. So how would we get the Heliodor if we wanted it? This is the option that gives you the best chance of finding a Heliodor. Okay. And we would be able to get 6 campaign tokens off that as well. And we probably can't investigate the tomb, so the science outcome is out of the question. The Saxon Golden Horse. You know what? Let's try to get the Heliodor. That's the one we're most likely to succeed on. Also, it would be a good treasure, probably. Ooh. Okay, no, we did pass. We did pass the encounter or the adventure wheel. Okay, so what have we got here? We did get the Heliodor, and we did get the thing we were looking for. So, plus status and research from secret tokens. We don't have any secret tokens right now, unfortunately. But hopefully this has put us in a good position. We're going to be trying to get a lot of secret tokens over the course of the rest of this run, obviously. And we've already acquired quite a lot of bonuses to their payout. I really do wish we had pulled Hojo's crew story on the first camp, but you know, them's the breaks. Like I keep saying, part of what I really like about this game is that the nature of the variants causes you to sometimes have to play in a way you weren't intending to play. Obviously, we're going to skip the ceremony. The Emperor will understand. He knows we're busy. He knows we're out there working for him. You can't be too mad about that, right? So unfortunately, we only managed to pull 300 status on that first expedition. So that does not bode too well for Status Collector going to us at first. Obviously, we're going to want to unlock history, because exploration records and the combination of that and extra campaign tokens and stuff. That said, I'm pretty bummed about how much research we ended up with, and I think we might not be able to completely finish this. And if we didn't get Lecture Expert, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So let's take these first, right? Yeah, we're already out of study. So we really, really, really want to get exploration records right now. This is what I'm thinking. We might have to just accept that Lecture Expert is out of reach for the moment. We don't even have a scientist, so unfortunately, man, maybe we can't do any more research. Because if we're going to get about 10 research per spent insight, that's 3 insight. Yeah. There's no way that 30 more research is going to be enough to get us this. The next research paper is going to cost either 40 or 45 research. So we would need, in total, probably like 75 or 80, which means we'd have to spend probably 5 of our points of insight right now. Now, the reason I don't usually want to spend insight below the cap that we're allowed to hold on to between expeditions is that your tokens are so much valuable later, and you have so many more ways of getting them from spending insight that spending them now is a real waste of resources. However, now I'm thinking, somebody pointed out to me that it might be wise in Emperor's Challenge mode to spend a little bit more aggressively to make sure that you can complete combat challenges in the early expeditions, because porcelain that you get early is just as valuable as porcelain that you get later, right? So maybe it would be worth spending a lot more insight than normal to make sure that we can get exploration records, which definitely is better the earlier you get it. Let's take a quick look at what else we might get from the spend. So obviously we have Paris campaigning available, which could get us somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 renown or 40 status per spend. Or we can lecture in London and get like 40-ish gold or 30-ish gold, but also some status. This is probably the best total resources path. Now we're going to go to Transylvania, right? Or Hungary, rather. Tactician, Archaeologist, Quick Thinker, and Diplomats. We don't have any archaeology. There is a trinket here that would be great for us that gives archaeology, but it requires you to upgrade this starting shop a couple of times, and that might be a little bit of a strain on our gold. Yeah, the shop has to get to level 4. So you'd have to upgrade the shop 3 times, which I'm assuming is 50, 100, 150. Yeah, that's... We would not have the money left, so we would have to spend our insight on gold to do that. But do we have access to an easy level of archaeology? We'd have to upgrade this thing twice. We should be able to pull that off, though, pretty easily by spending insight on status. So is that the way I want to do this? Who's available at the beginning level of Madrid? 1 collect for going aggressive. That's probably the worst of them. Right now, a study token or a campaign token would both be better. Man. We've pulled some unfortunate luck so far. Well, Dr. Eligard is nothing but the perk for us. We are almost certainly never going to have a level 4 archaeologist, right? So it's very unlikely that we would ever get extra study tokens out of it. Maybe the right thing to do is to just spend our study on, or spend our insight on gold, upgrade until we can buy the trowel and broom, and then take advantage of the fact that the trowel and broom is very powerful at this point in the game. Minus 10 speech defense is going to be all of the speech defense of a lot of types of enemies we can face right now. It won't get us any closer to this, though. We're looking at probably 40 per spend. So actually, if we were to spend 4 points of insight on status right now, we could take the first level of status collector away from Rivalu. If we don't do that, the odds that he gets it before the end of the next expedition are extremely high. Because he's going to get 2 right now. Yeah, this is probably right. We'll do this to make sure that we can get status collector. I don't know what I'm doing, you guys. Listen, I'm okay at this game. I would go so far as to say I'm not bad at this game, but I'm certainly not great. I am never sure that I am making the right choice. Okay, yeah, we do have to spend this much to make sure that we get status collector. I think that was a reasonable trade-off to make. And then now that we have all this, let's go ahead and get our level of archaeologist. You would probably want to put this on a scientist in general. So I guess, generally speaking, archaeology checks will have a bonus for being a scientist. Since we have no scientists, we have to put them on somebody. I don't think we have a lot of stuff where it's going to matter who picks up all of our perks. So who do we want to become the archaeologist? In theory, the person who takes this now will also be the person we want to give the broom and trowel to, right? So maybe that's a good way to decide. Who do we want to be adjacent to our enemies? Victor and Hojo both have to be adjacent to hit with some of their attacks. I mean, everybody has to be adjacent to hit with their aggressive attack. Maybe I'm not even that concerned about the Broom and Trowel, given that we're going to want to finish aggressive a lot. Yeah, I don't know. Let's give it to Victor. Victor's tough. He can afford to stand next to people if we do end up wanting to do a Broom and Trowel thing on him. And I think it makes sense to give him Architecture. I think there are other sources for Legends, but I don't know that there are a lot of sources for Architecture. So you always want to try to give people perks that you think are not going to end up overlapping with perks they might get from other locations. And I'm sorry about all the creaking. I don't know what has happened to my chair recently. All of a sudden it's like the loudest. So we could hire Champion Vasilisa, give a Quick Thinker perk to Hojo, and then get an extra campaign token every time he succeeds on the adventure wheel, because he's already a level 4. We can also try to buff up our level of Diplomat, which is pretty important, I think, in general. And we don't have a huge number of sources for it. Yeah. I think that's what I'll do. Let's take Mr. Jenkins and get a source of Diplomat. I think we want Customs, because the free item that you get from Victor's crew story, I believe, gives Etiquette. I think. Alright, so Victor picks up a perk. And then at 53 status, the only specialist, or the only helper we could buy is a trader. And we're going to get a lot of encounter tokens over the course of the game. That's probably worthwhile. And now let's spend a little bit of money. So we could just buy... We could buy everybody 150 point defensive items, once we sell all of our starting gear. That's actually probably the right thing to do. So you want a memento. You want armor for sure. And again, a big part of the reason that I'm into defensive items instead of offensive items in the early game, it's a little unfortunate that we have to sell everything here, is just because the defensive stats are used on checks extensively. I think that's probably okay. So it's nice to buff up your defensive stats. It seems to be the easiest way to me to pass checks that you haven't really perked correctly for, just to buff your defensive stats like crazy. Okay. I think we're going to be able to win this. We've got a little bit of a lead on him for right now. Obviously, he's picking up that. I'm surprised that he took Collector of Collect. I didn't see a mark on it that indicated that he was going to gain. I must have missed it. But he's not going to get any more porcelain, I believe, from Rogue Team until we move up to the next level. And by the time we're ready to move up to the next level, we'll be able to get the one after that pretty quickly. And we should be able to continually blow him out on Status Collector if we keep playing well. Alright, so the Hungarian Forest. With the details provided by Lady Vaduva, you must be able to find the secret fort, which used to be an alchemy laboratory. Sure, it's right there. I mean, we can see it from here, so... We're only like 30 feet from that. Alright, this is a bummer. We're not very good at Devious. Alright, Yvonne is inspired by the eerie forests and writes a small horror story. And again! Here she's compiling a book. A beautified grave is being guarded by some cultists. Hojo wonders whose grave is so well kept. Well, it shouldn't be very hard to find out, I imagine. Okay, Painbringer. Do 55 attack damage to a single target. That is a completely insane request. There is no way. That is functionally impossible. So, I guess let's just get the job done. We'll want to start out fairly friendly here. Yeah, we'll end the first turn friendly. So what if I use Peace Treaty, we can start by weakening a significant number of them. Then we can finish off 2 of them friendly this turn, and finish off 2 of them aggressive after that. And that should pretty easily allow us to end the encounter aggressive. If we were to end this encounter friendly, it would be a huge waste. But I think we should be okay. Because, man, ending it friendly wouldn't even count toward a challenge or anything. It would just be an encounter that's not... it would just be bad. Like I said, I don't expect it to be an issue. Should I try to land an enrage here? No, it's probably not worth it. So Victor's attack is higher. We want to let him fight the real enemy. And our health and everything is high enough that I don't think we're in any real danger. Yeah, there's no universe where Painbringer was even remotely possible. 55 damage is a bit of an ask at this stage in the game, you know? Alright, now I do want to try... I really do want to try to get an enrage out, but it's gonna take a moment here. Wow, really? That's surprising. Okay, so we need to... Yeah, I'm surprised he was able to hit for 32. Even with the speech defense penalty, that's a lot. Victor is now terrified, which is annoying. And not able to finish off the encounter with an aggressive attack. You know what, if we finish this friendly, I think we should still be comfortably aggressive overall. Aggressive had quite a lead. Yeah. Okay, we investigate the tomb after knocking out those cultists. It's the grave of a young lady. We make some notes. I don't think we're going to have any trouble getting to 800 status, and we are going to need more study. Study is relatively pretty valuable right now because the research papers are still very cheap. Okay, in a forgotten stone building, Victor finds the skeleton of a young woman and a note detailing how she was tortured. Who would write something like that? Intriguing but repulsive. Okay. Through the dense swamp gas, you see a strange silhouette. In the distance, you hear a muffled scream. Someone in need of our help? This part of the swamp is a ravaged wilderness. One crew member must find a way through. Hojo claims it would be easy to get stuck in the thick swamp ground. A quick thinker would be able to escape. Victor argues that the scream must be provoked by something frightening. A tactician might be convenient if things get out of hand. With these ideas in mind, Hojo decides who will go first. So, plus 10 speech on the expedition for getting to be brave. That's pretty cool. Who do I think is better suited to the off challenge? So Hojo's attack and armor are pretty high. Those are often used on roles where tactician is involved. Well, those are often used on roles that are fighter related, at least. Yeah, let's have Hojo go. I think Hojo is better at tactician roles than Victor is at quick thinker roles. Probably. Oh, except Victor does have a free point of quick thinker. Maybe that was wrong. Anyway. The ground is getting more rough with every step. The swamp turns awfully quiet. It gives Hojo the chills. Suddenly, you see where the strange silhouette came from. Hojo screams at the sight of a scary swamp monster. However, the monster immediately bursts into tears. Everyone's always afraid of me. I'm merely seeking a companion. But who would ever want to be friends with a monster like me? That's pretty good. That's a pretty good 100% get a secret token, get a treasure kind of thing here. Hojo notices the monster wears a birthday hat and quickly congratulates him. Happy birthday! The monster is happily surprised. You remembered my birthday! That truly means you are my friend! He then hands over a carefully wrapped present, because it's like a hobbit birthday. Also, who made him the hat? Did he make himself the hat? Because his arms look kinda... I mean, not to say that he definitely couldn't, it's just... Whatever. I'll take the tool. Tool's useful. It's nice to have a tool. Hojo tells the crew about the monster and the treasure. Victor believes the monsters are gravely misunderstood and can be the best of friends. So, do we get the tool right now? I'm not actually sure. Because it says get a tool at the start of each expedition, so it might not have given us one here. And you can see our secret token payout is very high right now. We did a really good job of buffing this up. Alright, carrying all this stuff through these deep swamps sure is a burden. Who's athletic enough to carry it the last few miles to camp? That's interesting. You can see here the bonus from being a fighter is the same as the bonus from having one rank of athlete, and their stats are so similar. We're definitely going for it here because the extra encounter token. This would be a really great time not to fail. Also, we have managed to not find any supply nodes yet, which is strange because Hungary has quite a few usually. Alright, Hojo successfully carries everything to the next camp, and then we get his crew card, please? No, we do not. In fact, we get totally screwed. Okay, well... yeah, that's a real bummer, because there's usually a fair number of treasures on Expedition 2. We could have gotten a lot of secret tokens, and each secret token is extremely valuable. So that is a real bummer, man. Alright, well, let's take Tactical Insight, I guess. This is something that we do want to have done eventually. The combination of adventures and a military background is especially impressive. Maybe that's something the crew can make use of. Victor can imagine the sight of an adventurer general drawing a lot of attention when visiting cities. Yeah, real bad luck. Yeah, that was a completely foregone conclusion, sadly. Alright. Time to enter the Blood Countess's tomb. An old man with a halberd is patrolling the area. The man looks grumpy. You're not allowed to enter the cursed grave of Ursabeth Bathory. Believe me, it's for your own good. Victor tries to use diplomacy, but he's not that great at it. Well, I don't love losing a point of resolve, but at this point, secret tokens are so valuable. I think I'm going to take the coin flip. Because really, secret tokens are so valuable. Victor convinces the man. Okay, but don't tell anyone this secret. Ursabeth Bathory was a horrible, crazy lady who killed hundreds of young innocent women. Don't touch anything. Yeah, I'm going to touch stuff. Alright, inside the tomb you find the plain grave of Ursabeth Bathory. Hanging above it is an ominous but beautiful painting of her. Hojo wonders if you should take it. Yeah, we should definitely take it. What are you, crazy? Now there is a permanent penalty for taking the painting. Who has good speech defense? Actually, Victor has pretty good speech defense. I'm thinking he can absorb the penalty the best. But also, maybe it's best to do it with Hojo, because Hojo's dodge will, somewhat negate... it's tough to say. Somewhat negate the danger of having low speech defense. Because I'm pretty sure what happens is you lose speech defense for being the one to take the painting. You know, Victor, your speech defense is really high. You can afford the hit. Okay, so plus 25% status from campaign tokens. That is pretty tempting. I think that's got to be right. We're going to get so many campaign tokens over the course of the game. 25% extra status from them is going to end up being a huge amount of total status. And 2 secret as our other option, I don't think is the right call. Alright. You don't know what, but Victor has changed. A sadistic smile decorates his face. Everyone hopes this is just an illusion and exits the tomb. However, you can't shake the feeling that something bad has happened to Victor. Yeah, minus 10 speech defense. That is what I remembered it being. Okay, please let us get this supply node. Unfortunately, we don't have a naturalist or a survivalist, and our athlete is not much of an athlete. Seems like a fruitful part of the swamp. Yeah, we're probably not getting these. Oh, lucky. Alright. That's really good, because we were about to be out of opportunity to explore here. A mine tunnel is blocked by a big rock. Maybe an athlete could move it. Yeah, maybe. Minus 5 armor on this expedition really is not much of a penalty. And this will level him up. Alright, we're having pretty good luck with the rolls so far. I wouldn't say that we're having great luck overall, but the rolls are definitely going our way. So plus 6 speech when your attitude is friendly, or replaces the dire mood effect with shaken, which gives only minus 5 armor. I think this is not bad, but we're going to be bouncing around between friendly and aggressive. And there's a pretty good chance that we're going to end up in the dire mood some of the time at least. I mean, we don't probably want to be friendly all that much in any case. I don't know. This is a choice between two things that are not super duper relevant, but I do think suspicion is a pretty good ability. Losing only 5 armor instead of, I think it's 20 is the normal value. That's a pretty big difference. You find a small ruined church in the forest. You can study it for a little more research. Well, I guess we'll try. Man, we're doing really well with this sort of cobbled together perk lineup. Do I want to head over here and eat a hunger penalty in order to get the XP for from an encounter? Because I really would like Victor and Yvonne to level up again before we do the final boss encounter, if possible. This is a cultural challenge for supplies. I think we'll probably be pretty good at that. You know what? I'm going to do it. Let's veer out of our way. We're going to eat a hunger penalty at this node. Find a group of hunters. We're looking to hunt a vicious wild wolf known as the Beast. If you want our protection or help hunting him, you gotta show us what you're worth. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I know it doesn't look like we're total badasses, because on the one hand, we brought a broom, and on the other hand, a whip is not actually like a good weapon. I don't know if you've spent a lot of time around whips, but I wouldn't exactly be terrified of somebody who was trying to hit me with a whip. Although it would hurt. It would hurt like hell if they managed to do it. I think it's going to be a little more difficult than they are figuring. So we may not look like the most physically. What is the opposite of inept? Apt? We may not look like we're all that apt, but I assure you, apt is our middle name. What do I want to do here? If I take out the wolf, Victor can probably move to this location and finish off the lady. Are the wolves weak to anything? They're weak to Terrify, which we don't have access to. And I probably won't finish him off with anything other than Deride. Deride is a pretty powerful ability. It does a lot of damage, as you can see there. 125% speech base power, plus 25% from us being hostile. And it's an enrage, and it heals the user. So Pain Absorber is received 9 or less damage. I can't imagine that's going to happen. Well, I mean, the wolves only have 20 attack power, actually. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, actually. It's not completely infeasible that an attack on Victor could do that little damage. He has 41 armor. So we want to Terrify one of the wolves. Except that landing a Terrify is going to guarantee that the wolf is defeated. Okay, so let's land a Terrify on one of the wolves. We actually can't reach this lady with Yvonne. I guess we'll just heal Yvonne. I want to keep one of the wolves up. And I don't want to switch over into Devious mode, because doing that will make it much more likely that the wolf will just miss. I really want the wolf to just bite Victor. Really? 13? Doesn't Victor have, like, almost double? Yvonne has 25 armor and Victor has 31. I thought he had... Huh. I thought he had more. I thought we just saw he had more. Maybe he had some kind of temporary effect on him. Oh, you know what? We were technically prepared, weren't we? We no longer are. So then there's no way. There's no way we get... The 2 porcelain version of Pain Absorber is sometimes just not feasible. Alright, well, let's just wrap the encounter then. I don't think that there's any chance of us getting that. It is a shame. We are not starting out in the greatest of places here. Yeah, I cannot imagine. Having seen whips used a couple of times for a couple of different reasons, I cannot imagine trying to fight somebody with a whip. It would certainly be very impressive if you could do it. Yeah, 16 to 13. It's not awesome. That said, I think that Status Collector, the next level of Status Collector, is almost certainly ours. Each of these secret tokens is worth more than 100 status alone. Alright, we're out of supplies. Victor loses some speech defense. That's not a great thing to lose in this situation. We're in a place where speech comes into play a lot. We come across a comfortable hut. The crew could use some rest. On the porch there's a skeptical-looking woman. I'd normally be hospitable, but there are a lot of crazy admirers of Ursula Bathory around, so I trust no one. Well, we do need to rest, and we really want to not fail this check. I actually am pretty nervous about this. Oh, okay. Yeah, not losing resolve in addition to not getting supplies would have been really heartbreaking. The woman is convinced. Inside, she tells you about the horrors. Yeah, medieval countess who tortured and murdered hundreds of young women to bathe in their blood and retain her youth. Sort of true, based on a thing that we think maybe really happened, but we're not sure. The lady offers one more thing before you go. You can rest the night here, or take some supplies and move on. Thank you very much for the supplies. That's lovely. Victor hits his level, so we can get +1 collect from each wits challenge, or plus confident each turn. Given that we're going for a pretty aggressive path here, I think I'm going to take confidence. This is valuable in two ways. First of all, obviously it's great to be confident, but secondly, it raises your emotional state, so it can help to counter negative emotional states. It'll drag you upward out of being enraged or terrified or whatever. And actually, it also will allow you to avoid being impressed, because at the beginning of the turn, the impress will just turn to confident. So it's actually a pretty powerful skill. Hojo finds a small plate of silver. This is going to cause us to take another hunger penalty, probably. Unless there's a node around here that we can go to get more supplies. But I can't not go for a treasure. That would be crazy. Oh hey, look who it is. Alright, if we make him laugh within 2 seconds, he'll give us something special. Thankfully, we're quite good at that. Yeah, wow, Hojo's got like a 130% chance to pass this check. Alright, so Hojo makes fun of Victor for no reason, despite the fact that Victor is the nicest guy in the world, and also look how sad we've made him. And the little devil guy turns into a statue. Which is pretty weird. Okay, I think I'm definitely taking 2 secret tokens over campaign and study. Alright, well, despite not getting Hojo's crew story, we ended up doing pretty well on these. Alright, let's eat another hunger penalty and then get the heck out of here. While walking through the gloomy forest, you see something sticking out of the ground. At the same time, the air fills with a foul smell. This is pretty unlikely to work, but we gotta go for it. Yeah, oh well. Yvonne finds an old smelly sock that must have been from one of the cultists. Victor mocks Yvonne and says the sock is definitely an addition to the treasure collection. Why are we all so mean to each other? Alright, Hojo loses speech power. That is a real shame, but we did manage to get everybody leveled up. So gain a campaign token when resolving a battle devious, not really that relevant to our situation. But Sadden is more effective, could totally be relevant. Also, we've already unlocked Yvonne's other ability, which is pretty fantastic. I'm sure we'll find a use for it pretty soon, so you guys can see what it is. Hojo and Victor have their final abilities locked behind the next level. Alright, right away, you're in for a nasty surprise. Cultists! Their leader seems to be a master alchemist herself. You come to disturb our secret occult fortress? Well, you won't get past me! I don't know. Something tells me we'll be alright. So our hunger penalties were minus speech defense on Victor and minus speech power on Hojo. It's really not the end of the world. The efficient hit 4 targets with a single area of effectability. That is pretty hard. So the new ability that we learned with Yvonne is this Cone Enrage, which gives minus 25% speech and minus 25% attack to the enemies that it hits. Yvonne will surely pull aggro of the affected unit. There's no way we're going to get this, right? Alright, this is what I want. Victor's AoE is nowhere near large enough to hit them all. And we certainly can't just leave 4 people alive and near us. Yeah, we're just not going to get this. That's a real shame. We're just not going to get an awful lot of stuff here. Alright, well, let's start out devious. So this seems like a fine way to do that. I mean, I should probably lower the number of enemies. Why don't we do this? We'll take this guy down. The guys to our left are far enough away that they won't be able to hit us on this coming turn, basically no matter what we do. So by eliminating a bunch of these guys very quickly, we ensure that we're only going to get hit once on the coming turn. Oh, you know what? The Master Alchemist has that line stun, so I've just set these 2 up so that we're almost certainly going to get double stunned. Alright, we don't want to finish off aggressive this turn. I don't think we could stand the speech defense penalty. Especially not since I think Victor's going to get hit, and we know his speech defense has already been tanked. Okay. The enemies are approaching slowly. You are immune to Impress, which is a very annoying trait. But I can do this. It's not a great amount of damage, but it does move us over into friendly. Now, it's not totally impossible that we could still end up with the efficient with enough enemies running in on us from the left, but I really don't think we're going to get there. Okay, so you have 40 armor. You have 50. How are we going to do this? And we almost certainly have to get this alchemist down to enraged. So what we could do is have Yvonne come over here, drop a Satin. Okay. And now that the enemy is in negative spirits, we hit the enrage. Okay, and now that he's enraged, we are at 1 point. Man. I think that the cultists have to be adjacent to you to hit you. So I'm a little nervous about dropping over into aggressive right now, but we might need the points of aggressiveness that will build up by us ending our turn in aggressive stance in order to make sure that we get an aggressive finish. I'm going to risk it. If we lose another point of resolve, I will be bummed out. But I think we should be okay. I don't think the boss is going to hit hard enough to... Oof, pretty close. And if I turn out to be wrong and the red cultist can attack from 2 spaces away, okay. Cannot. That would have been real bad, though. And then, yeah, we definitely have the physical damage to finish it from here. Okay, that one got a little closer than I would like. Yeah. We're all very impressed. Alright, you defeat those pesky cultists with force. Now you can explore the ruined fort at your own pace. As the crew looks around to find the alchemy lab, Victor feels a bit uneasy, slightly scared. Victor asks if Hojo believes in alchemy and the powers of the occult. We definitely want the Philosopher's Stone, I think. You know what? I'm just going to pop that guide open again real quick, and I'm pretty sure. Because it's the one that has the campaign tokens equipped to it, or attached to it, and that's generally going to be the way we want to go. Alright, come on, Philosopher's Stone. Okay, there we go. Your current highest level Quick Thinker gains +4 campaign on Quick Thinker spins, or I think Quick Thinker is going to come up more than Tactician. I mean, they're both really useful. But I think we want Quick Thinker. Well, let me think. Probably the next expedition we want to do is the Highlands. Highlands does have some Tactician checks. After that, we're going to want to do the Anagogic Archipelago, which does have Tactician checks as well, I think. But I think they both also have Quick Thinker. I think Quick Thinker is going to come up more often. I hope. So we got 8. We have to make 770 status to get Status Collector. I think it's very likely that we pulled it off. We pulled a lot of secret tokens, and each one of them is worth more than 100 status. So, yeah, we're extremely good. We're fine. Okay, so that should put us right back in a good place on Porcelain. In fact, we should have a considerable amount of progress toward the next level of Status Collector. And we made a lot of research. Kind of a lot of research, anyway. Alright, Rivalu and his crew went to take care of the elderly while they finished the expedition early. Yeah, alright. You. Alright, we're going to get our own Challenger title. We are going to send our letter of recommendation to Constantinople? Constantinople has the entourage guys who will buff up your tokens a small amount. New Orleans has a single guy who buffs up the payout of a token. New Orleans gives us the equipment shop that has the books, which I'm not too excited about, but it does have some pretty good gear in it as well, trinket-wise. Constantinople gives you access to an extra encounter token for finishing aggressive. That's one of the guys you can hire. You know, I think we'll take New Orleans. I think the Entourage Hall in New Orleans is better enough for that to be the right call. Alright, so that's another 6 porcelain. That'll put us comfortably ahead. Our number changed from 21 to 19 when we gained 6 points. That strikes me as a little strange. Okay, so now the question is, what do we do? Because I really want to get to mind analysis. Is mind analysis so valuable to us that it's worth maybe still not getting expiration records? Because, first of all, we get Power of Secrets, and remember, both of those values are actually 50% higher than they look like, because we played that Campfire card already. Yeah, I think mind analysis is super good. Okay. So, we're not terrible at enraging opponents. But we could... we don't really have a lot of... We have 2 abilities to make opponents confident. We have Victor and his just normal Encourage, which is a pretty powerful ability. And we have Hojo's Reaching Out. Yvonne has 2 Enrages. So I'm wondering if Confident leeching people's armor off is maybe not necessary because we're so good at enraging people that we can just use Enrage to do that. And that we might be better off like trying to have enraged opponents gain 15% mischance. But it's also the case that we're going to want to be hitting some enemies with Confident just because they're weak against it, and it would be cool if we didn't have to spend an extra action making them lose armor afterward. Yeah, let's improve our Confident. I will just have a lot of ways of dumping people's armor. That's not a bad thing. Alright, then we have to take Art of Bartering, then we have to take Power of Secrets, and we need to find 50 more research to pump up Mind Analysis. I mean, we have the insight for it. We're definitely not getting exploration records, I'll tell you that. So if we spent our tokens, I mean, if we spend our 5 excess insight on research, we will get enough research to buy the research paper we want, right? It's pretty much guaranteed. Let's have a quick look at... Oh, I didn't... Shoot. I was misremembering which Entourage shop was which. We didn't want San Francisco, we wanted the other one. Well, darn it. That said, we can buff up our study tokens before we spend that insight. Beguiler Astonishing is not one that she has already. And Beguiler is useful on our next expedition. We want Beguiler, Diplomat, Tactician, Engineer, and I'm 100% sure Quick Thinker is rolled as well. Engineer is something we're going to need to take a little bit of care to buff up. Beguiler and Diplomat. Okay. So we could get a point of Beguiler and increase status from study tokens. So we do obviously want as much status as we can get. Yeah, that's probably reasonable. I guess I should look at the other, these guys. Okay, this only doubles tokens from your insight spending, so that's not worth worrying about yet. I mean, I guess there's something to be said for trying to get to Master Paparazzi Kulan. We definitely could do that. Just get a secret every time we finish an encounter. I mean, that would really supercharge the number of secrets we're getting, and then that would mean we're getting a ton of extra status to get a whole bunch of extra hires next after next expedition. You know what? I'm gonna go for it. All right, get me secrets through aggression. That's probably worth doing, right? So there's a challenge for hiring lobbyists. We do not have the resources to hire 2 lobbyists. And I kind of want to hire barterers, and maybe we just surrender this point of porcelain. I would like to hire a barterer, I think. We do have the resources to hire BG Hunter. It's not awesome. Honestly, 1 supply might be a better value than a small number of collect tokens, because the supplies really are really valuable. But we're still at the base supply value here. Okay, it doesn't matter who we spend this with. Actually, what was that campfire card we played? Just +3 campaign when spending insight on anything with a level 3 tactician. So actually, if we buy Victor a point of tactician, which we totally can do, right from the tactician's notes. Yeah, that's much better. That's a much better payout. Okay, this will get us our research paper and probably enough status to buy another barterer or something. Okay, slightly less than the number we were looking for on the study there. And again, I would really like to not have to spend an extra point of study. That would be cool. Okay, all we need to do is not get the minimum value here. Okay, we're good. Oh. Alright, cross the threshold there. Okay, so we get mind analysis, and we will be able to unlock Asian wisdom at the end of the next expedition, and so we'll be able to spend the insight from expeditions 3 and 4 on secret tokens. So that'll be really nice for us. Okay, we have 416. That's enough to buy probably 3 barterers. I think I should do that. It is not 3 barterers. Barterers rise in cost very quickly. frankly. I mean, I actually maybe still do want a lobbyist, even though we're not going to be able to satisfy the challenge. Like, a lobbyist is just very high value. Yeah, okay. And then we have 185 gold left over. That's enough to buy a crummy attack item for everybody? Or a okay attack item for one person, and a crummy attack item for somebody else? Actually, that's probably what we should do. So who's going to be our guy who's... Well, we might want to buy a monkey wrench, actually, for somebody. Having a point of engineer could be valuable. I mean, there's not going to be that many engineering checks. Yeah, screw it. Let's just get some stats. So, who has the worst attack? It's actually... Hojo's is not awesome. Well, Hojo has the worst... Hojo has bad overall stats. Actually, Yvonne's are worse. Let's do this for Yvonne, and then the decent gloves for Hojo. Yeah, that's an okay position. Alright, I don't know that we're exactly killing it, but I feel prepared-ish. Come back next time. We're headed out on the Highland Pursuit. Hopefully, this time, we'll be able to take home all of the treasures. And maybe if we're very lucky, we'll get to camp nice and early and pull Hojo's crew story. And maybe we'll finish the expedition with like 50 secret tokens. Wouldn't that be cool? We'll see you then.